Hello everyone, this is me Garima Singh. I will discuss in last lecture I just discussed the crux of this chapter. Now in this lecture I'm gonna discuss the question and answer of this chapter. So let's move on to the question and answer. Basically I'm gonna discuss questions. I'm gonna tell you the what you write as answer of this question. So first question is in situation with the high risk, credit might create further problem for the borrower. Explain. So in this you can write in situation with high risk, credit might create further problem for the borrower. This is also known as a debt trap. Taking credit involves an interest rate on the loan, and if this is not paid back, then borrower is forced to give up his collateral or asset used as guarantee to the lender. If a farmer take a loan for crop production and the crop fails, loan payment become impossible. To repay the loan, the farmer may sell a part of his land, um, or make the situation worse than before. Thus, in situation with high risk, if the risk affect a borrower badly, then he end up losing more than he would have without the loan. Then sorry for bearing my voice because I'm having cold from past 2 days, so that's why my voice is a bit heavy. Let's move on to the second question. How does money solve the problem of double coincidence of want? Explain with an example of your own. So you can solve it by own, but how I'm discussing questions, so I'm gonna discuss this one too. In a barter system where goods are directly exchanged without the use of money, double coincidence of want is an essential feature. By serving a medium of exchange, money removes the need for double coincidence of want and the difficulties associated with barter system. For example, it is no longer necessary for the farmer to look for a book publisher who will buy his cereals at the same time sell him book. All he has to do is find a buyer for his cereals. If he has exchanged his cereals for money, he can purchase any goods or service which he needs. This is because money acts as a medium of exchange. You can quote any other example. Next is how do bank mediate between those who have surplus money and those who need money. This we have discussed in the second function of money, that is deposit with bank. So bank keeps small portion deposit as cash, that is 15% for themselves to pay the depositor on demand. They use the major portion of the deposits to extend loan to those who need money. In this way, banks mediate between those who have surplus money and those who need money. Next question is fourth. Look at a 10 rupee note. What is written on top? Can you explain the six statements? So, Reserve Bank of India and Reserve Bank of India and guaranteed by the government are written on the top. In India, Reserve Bank of India issues currency note on behalf of the central government. The statement means that currency is authorized or guaranteed by central government. That is Indian law legalize the use of rupee as a medium of payment that cannot be refused in setting transaction in India. Next is fifth. How do we need to expand formal source of credit in India? So we need to expand formal source of credit in India due to firstly to reduce dependence on informal source of credit because the latter charge high interest rate and do not benefit the borrower much, as well as cheap and affordable credit is essential for country's development. Third, you can write a bank and cooperative should increase their lending particularly in rural area. Next is sixth question. What is the basic idea behind self-help group for the poor? Explain in your own words. The basic behind the self-help group is to provide a financial resource for the poor through organizing the rural poor, essentially women, into a small self-help group. They also provide timely loans at a reasonable interest rate without a collateral. Thus, the main objective of self-help group are to organize rural poor, especially women, into small self-help groups. Second, you can say to collect saving of their member. Third, to provide loan without collateral. Fourth, self-help group that is to provide timely loan for a variety of purpose. Fifth, you can say to provide loan at a responsible rate of interest and easy term. Then you can say provide platform to discuss and act on a variety of social issues such education, health, nutrition, domestic violence, etc. Next is, what are the reason why the bank might not be willing to lend to certain borrower? Then you can say the bank might not be willing to lend certain borrower due to the following reasons. Bank require proper document and collateral as a security against loan. Some person fail to meet these requirement. The borrower who have not repaid previous loan, the bank might not be willing to lend them further. Next, you can say the bank might not be willing to lend those entrepreneur who are going to invest in the business with high risk. And you can also write one of the principal objective of a bank is to earn more profit after meeting a number of expenses. For this purpose, it has to adopt judicious loan and investment policies which ensure fair and stable return on the fund. Next is, in what ways does the Reserve Bank of India supervise the functioning of bank? Why is this necessary? So Reserve Bank of India supervise the function of a bank in number of ways. Firstly, you can say the commercial bank are required to hold a part of their cash reserve with RBI. RBI ensure that bank maintain a minimum cash balance out of deposit they receive. Second, you can write RBI observe that bank give loan not just to profit making business and trader but also to small cultivator and small scale industries, small borrower, etc. Then the commercial bank have to submit information to the RBI and how much they are lending to whom at what interest rate, etc. So this is necessary to ensure equality in the economy of the country and protect especially small depositor farmer, small scale industries, small borrower, etc. In this process, RBI also act as a lender of the last resort to the bank. Actually, these function you can see my previous video that I have discussed that 12th class NCERT. So there you can see these things. Ninth question is analyze the role of credit for development. So cheap and affordable credit plays a crucial role for country development. There is a huge demand for loan for various economic activities. The credit help people to meet the ongoing expenses of production and thereby develop their business. Many people could then borrow for a variety of different needs. They could grow crops, do businesses, set up industry, etc. In this way, credit play a vital role in development of a country. Next is Manav needs a loan to set up a small business. On what basis will Manav decide whether to borrow from the bank or money lender? Discuss. Here you can write Manav will decide whether to borrow from bank or money lender on the basis of the following term of credit. Rate of interest, requirement, availability of collateral and documentation required by banker, then mode of repayment depending on these factor, and of course easier term of repayment. Manav has to decide whether he has to borrow from the bank or the money lender. Next, in India about 80% of the farmer are small farmer who need credit for cultivation, and you have to answer the various question. Why might banks be unwilling to lend to a small farmer? Bank loan require proper documentation and collateral as security against loan, but most of the time the small farmer lack providing such documentation and collateral. Beside, at times they even fail to repay the loan in time because of the uncertainty of the crop. So bank might be unwilling to lend to small farmer. Next is what are the other sources from which the small farmer can borrow? Apart from bank, the small farmer can borrow from local money lender, agriculture trader, big landlord, cooperative, self-help group, etc. Next is explain with an example how the term of credit can be unfavorable for small farmer. The term of credit can be unfavorable for the small farmer, which can be explained by the following. For example, Ramu, a small farmer, borrow from a local money lender at high rate of interest, that is 3% to grow rice, but the crop is hit by drought and it fails. As a result, Ramu has to sell a part of land to repay the loan. Now his condition become worse than before. Suggest some ways by which small farmer can get cheap credit. So the small farmer can get cheap credit from the different sources like bank, agriculture cooperative, and self-help group. Next is fill in the blanks. That's very easy. Majority of the credit needs of the poor household are met from informal sector. So poor here, right? Poor. Then in this question you write. I just use this form. Poor. Majority of the credit need of the poor household are met from informal source. Then dash a cost of borrowing increase the debt burden. So high. High cost of borrowing increase the debt burden. Next, issue currency note on behalf of the central bank. It's Reserve Bank of India. RBI. I think I should write Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India issue currency note on behalf of central government. Next is bank charge a higher interest rate on the loan than what they offer on deposits. This blank should be filled with deposit. Next is dash is an asset that borrower owns and uses. Guarantee should be collateral. This blank should be filled with collateral. Collateral word should come in this blank. Collateral. So collateral is an asset that the borrower owns and uses as a guarantee until the loan is repaid to the lender. 13 you have, I'm gonna just underline here. Choose the most appropriate answer. In a self-help group, most of the decisions regarding saving and loan activity are taken by members. Formal source of credit does not include employer because that is informal. We are done with this chapter question. I just discussed all the answer of these questions. In next lecture I will be discuss the fourth chapter of class 10. That's for today. Thank you.